This week,
the last blood drive of the year,
a look at postseason sports,
Millard West's class pets,
and the best pancakes in Omaha.
All here on the MWHS Wildcat News.
Welcome back, Wildcats. I'm Caitlin Reynolds.
And I'm Caden Roth. Last Friday was the biggest blood drive of the year. The Jim Johnston Memorial Blood Drive took place in the gym and was a chance for students and staff to make a meaningful donation. Samantha Wojslawik and Annabelle Harshbarger have more details.
On Friday, May 6th, the annual Jim Johnston Memorial Blood Drive took place in Wildcat 2. The American Red Cross worked with members of HOSA to run a successful blood drive. This is the final and largest blood drive of the school year.
Our goal was 115 units, and we collected 128.
Many students and staff members came together and donated to make this blood drive possible.
My friends in HOSA, she was telling me about it. My family works in healthcare, so they were all kind of telling me it's a good thing to do. So I just kind of listened to them.
This event memorializes Jim Johnston, a former Millard West teacher, and the man who started HOSA and introduced blood drives to Millard West.
The significance of the Jim Johnston Memorial Blood Drive is we wanted to honor Mr. Johnston because he's the one who started the blood drives here at Millard West. And after he passed away 8 years ago, the following year we started the memorial blood drives, that particular one in spring as our biggest blood drive in a memorial in honor to him.
HOSA members worked to ensure a successful blood drive by signing up donors for weeks before the event, checking people in, and escorting donors after they had given blood.
So we were responsible for checking kids in, making sure that they got to where they needed to go, and just making sure that the blood drive runs smoothly.
Thanks to the help of students, staff, and the American Red Cross, Millard West was able to host another successful blood drive. For the MWHS Wildcat News, this has been Annabelle Harshbarger and Samantha Wojslawik.
Most sports have either wrapped up their season or will do so soon. For a look at how these sports are ending, here's Logan Mosley with Sports Corner.
Thanks, Kitty, and welcome back to Sports Corner. Let's get started. For starters, baseball team finished up their regular season with a record of 26-5 and won an 11-game win streak to end the season. Senior Drew Borner led the team with 39 hits, 40 runs, and 28 stolen bases. In districts, the Cats outscored Omaha South and Burke by a combined score of 25-0. Their state best record was enough for them to earn the #1 seed in Class A, and they will play Kearney today at 10 o'clock at Werner Park. The theme is Green Out. On May 10th, the boys and girls track teams competed in districts in Kearney with a chance to go to state on the line. Before, the boys team placed 5th at Metros and the girls team placed 3rd, and that transferred over well at districts. The boys placed 3rd and the girls placing 4th, in large part due to the runners. They were on fire. The girls won the 4x400 and the 4x800 relay, and the boys also won the 4x800 relay. Sophomore Jack Whitty won the boys 800 with a 1-minute 56.7-second time. The team will compete at state on the 18th and the 19th. The boys soccer team wrapped up their season with an overall record at 6-9 and lost in the first round of districts 3-0. Senior Johnson Liu led the team with 19 points, 7 goals, and 5 assists on the season, and senior Sean Beatty led the team with 74 saves. On May 4th, the girls soccer team played Lincoln Pines the 10th in a district finals. Our reporters Miguel Paredes-Reyes and Samuel Whitaker were there and have more.
On a cold, misty Tuesday night, the Millard West girls soccer team took on Lincoln Pines the 10th in a battle to send the winning team to compete in the state tournament. The Wildcats sustained pressure early, keeping the ball in the Pius defensive zone for most of the first half. Shots were plentiful during this attack, and it would wear out Pius, but ultimately the Thunderbolt goaltending kept the score locked at 0.
Overall, we were feeling really well that we were going to kill the team, which wasn't the end result, but we still did the best we could. Well, during the game, we were possessing a lot, more than the other team, so we thought that we could just score right away and keep it going, but we just came out harder than them.
Pius would occasionally find themselves upfield, but were often called offsides or closely defended by the Wildcats. Sophomore goaltender Ella Konwinski made timely save after timely save and would hold off Pius for a little while until the shot from the middle of the crease was poked in just a little bit after the midway point of the first. The Wildcats would use halftime to rest, but also prepare for the second half with insight from coaches and teammates to keep spirits high even though they were down.
Up until that point, we had done everything right defensively. We knew exactly what they were going to try and do, so it was just more or less stay the course. And they were large. If you were at the game, you saw the first 20-25 minutes we dominated the game. Finishing is always hard, especially against a quality team. So we just need to finish. and just stay the course. It was going to be fine, and it was.
With their season on the line, Millard West put themselves back in control by keeping the pressure on the Pius defense, keeping the ball out of their defensive zone, and put forth a more offensively pressured strategy. The Wildcats would find themselves in a corner kick scenario. With everybody crashing the net, junior midfielder Callie Kirshner knocked on the loose ball and would tie the game at 1.
I just knew that I somehow needed to get the ball in the back of the net to get us back in the game, and that was an opportunity that I was given, so I knew how to take it and do anything I could to just find a way to get the ball in the goal. Just needed to make sure that we could keep our composure and stay calm instead of just trying to just kick it out of the back and just possess and take any opportunity we had to clear it out so they didn't get a chance.
The second half would end in back and forth pressure from both sides, but ultimately the score would stay tied, sending the game to overtime. 2 10-minute overtimes solved absolutely nothing as both sides were strong defensively, with goaltenders making amazing saves. It would take a shootout to decide who would advance. Pius would score on every attempt, with the Wildcats being stopped on 2 of their shots, sealing it for Pius and advancing them to the state tournament. This run won't soon be forgotten, as the Wildcats will look forward to be back here next season. For the MWHS Wildcat News, this has been Miguel Perez-Reyes and Samuel Whitaker.
Thank you. The lacrosse team wrapped up their regular season against West Des Moines on Saturday, finishing the season on a record of 8-4. 2 juniors, Brody Gorseth and Reef Beal, reached the coveted 100 career points club. The team hopes to get back to the state championship and finish what they started last year. The girls tennis team placed 8th at the Papio Invite on May 5th, 7th at the Millard North Invitational on May 6th, and 8th on Lincoln East Invitational on May 8th. Finally, boys golf played in the Lincoln Southeast Invitational and placed 5th out of 18 total teams. Senior Aiden Nelson shot an even 72 par, placing 5th in the individual category. They have 2 more meets until district tournament on May 16th. Back to you, Katie.
Our next story takes a look at some interesting class members. They're not students or teachers, but rather class pets. Hallie Opat and Logan Mosley got to know these pets and what makes them special.
Many teachers across the school have unique things in their classrooms. However, the science department takes it to a whole new level, having many different animals in their rooms. Rooms 212, 221, and 223 are home to various class pets. We met our first pet in room 212 with Mr. Miller.
Hey, Millard West crew. This is Mr. Miller, and in my biology room we have a turtle named Shelby. It's actually Mr. Dawson's turtle, but he generously lets me keep it in here. Maybe not, but the kids like to take her out and play with her. Some more than others. Sometimes kids are not too anxious to hold a turtle, but she's really pretty easy animal to show the class. She's not going to run off, obviously. And we do have a couple of awesome students that come in and make sure that she's got plenty of water and food.
Then on to the next hall over in room 221, Mr. Stocking has a few water-dwelling friends.
All right, so this is one of our turtles that we actually rescued from Colorado recently, Margot, and she's a red-eared slider. And we rescued her from a family in Colorado that couldn't take care of her any longer. As you can see, she really likes humans, so she'll follow us around typically in any day. The students really like to interact with them. It gives us as teachers a good talking point to really tie in a bunch of different topics, both in biology and chemistry and a bunch of other science fields. So it's nice to have that kind of real world, authentic experience for the students and then be able to see kind of the impacts of what we're learning in class. This is our other turtle that we rescued. This is Gramps. He's actually 25 years old, which is pretty crazy. But just like Margot, he's friendly, and it's nice to have a couple other class animals that we can use to cement everything we've been doing in class in the real world.
Finally, one door over in room 223, we met Mr. Dawson's scaly sidekicks.
Hi, so I'm Mr. Dawson, and this is Rango. She is a bearded dragon. She is about 3 to 4 years old. She was actually a kind of a donation from one of the pet stores. So what people will do is they'll often come in and get pets for their kids, and then the kids are like, "Ooh, I don't want that," or "I want a different one." And so it depends on the pet. For Rango, it's not terrible. She gets fed every other day, so Monday, Wednesday, and Friday she gets some lettuce and either crickets or mealworms or what they're called super worms. They're basically just larger mealworms and that kind of stuff. Rhino, the leopard gecko, a little bit more maintenance there, but still fed every other day, but she is a carnivore, and so she does not eat vegetables and that kind of stuff. So it's just crickets and mealworms for her. So, and then the fish, fed again every other-ish day. So with Rhino especially, and with Rango, they have, so we talk about evolution of biology, and they have certain evolutionary characteristics that have happened. So obviously, you know, she has the, you know, kind of the spikes on the side here. That's a kind of a defense mechanism.
All of these pets have special features that make them unique and make each class more entertaining. For the MWHS Wildcat News, this has been Logan Mosley and Hallie Opat.
Earlier this week, speech teacher Jennifer Jerome was inducted into the National Speech and Debate Association Hall of Fame.
Congratulations, Ms. Jerome.
In their last food review of the year, Evan Vaslow and Joseph Edmeyer traveled around town looking for the best pancakes in Omaha.
In our final food review, we set out with the goal of finding the best pancakes Omaha has to offer. Our search started right across the street at Jimmy's Egg, where we ordered the cinnamon roll pancakes. The icing was a bit too much, and the uniced portions tasted a lot better. But we liked the textural diversity that the cinnamon gave, so Joe scored them an 8 and I gave them a 6.5. The blueberry pancakes at La Peep were inescapably dry, even when they were drowning in syrup, and the blueberries detracted from the overall experience due to their excessive tartness. Joe gave them a 6 and I gave them a 5. Village Inn's buttermilk pancakes were light and easy to eat, earning them a 7 from Joe and a 6 from myself. At Good Evans, we ordered chocolate chip pancakes and were not disappointed. The pancakes were thick and fluffy, and the whipped butter and melted chocolate chips made for a very cohesive pancake. Good Evans jumped into the lead with an 8.5 from Joe and an 8 from me. First Watch had the strongest cake of any of the places we tried, and the blueberries were more of a subtle compliment than they were at La Peep. Joe gave the pancakes a 7.5, and I gave them a 7. Our last stop was Billy's Cafe, where we were treated to fluffy, moist pancakes with melty chocolate chips. Our only complaint was they weren't nearly as cohesive as at Good Evans. Joe gave them an 8, and I gave them a 7.5. When all was said and done, Good Evans stood out as the best pancakes in Omaha. For the MWHS Wildcat News, this has been Joe Edmeyer and Evan Vaslow.
Yearbook distribution will be in room 312 before school, during lunch, and after school next week. Follow the MWHS Prowler Instagram for more details.
That wraps up our content for this week. As always, head to our website and social media pages for more daily content.
For one last time, this has been Caitlin Reynolds
and Caden Roth for the MWHS Wildcat News.
Have a good weekend, Wildcats.